Welcome, friends, and namaste. As you can tell from the camera angle, we're going to be low today. We're going to go into another restorative pose, and you need a decent amount of props for this one. So always feel free to hit pause after I say them and then get set up and come on back and hit go again. But is you have a bolster the long way. My spine is going to go on that. If you're like, I don't have a bolster at my house, remember, you can always do 1 or 2 blankets and kind of a long, wide fold, and you can have those stacked on top of each other. It's basically the same size as a bolster. Notice that I have a blanket up there to go under my head once I get in. I'm going to have 2 blocks because I'm going to have my legs in butterfly. And yes, I do want your blocks to be, your legs to be propped. Believe it or not, it does make a difference with the central nervous system and with whether or not those muscles will release completely. For most bodies anyway. And then go ahead and get that first bolster set up lengthwise on the bolster, right? On the mat. Have that blanket across or at least nearby in case you need it for your head. And I have a blanket that I'm also going to be putting over myself just for the comfort and the warmth factor. Now, before we come all the way down in, or maybe while you're gathering your props and getting prepared, most all you all know I've had a pretty wild ride here this past year, and it's been pretty intense the past couple of weeks for me. And so part of me is I need this. And a lot of times I feel like when I need something, when I bring it to y'all are like, oh my gosh, I needed that too. And these are also recordings. So you'll have this anytime you want, even if you're not stressed out. Now, maybe it's recording you come back to at another point in time. Doesn't always have to be stress. You can be a little depleted. You can tell I've got congestion. I just got over a cold. I just did a yard sale in the rain one day, and my dad's heart is having a really hard time. There's just a lot, right? My kitty has cancer. And so in those moments, I feel like I don't have time to take care of me, but it's when I need to do it the most. So I always like to think of these as kind of spontaneous shavasana or restorative poses. We're just going to do one. We're going to do it for about 8 minutes, and then we're going to come on out. So put your butt in front of that bolster, right? You don't want it to be, you don't want to be up on it. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to lay back over that bolster. And that's where I like to have my feet on the ground. I like to lift my hips up and kind of give myself that space and set back down. Now, if this feels like it's too high, use a pillow or use one blanket instead, and don't be quite so high, right? I'm going to take that second blanket and I'm going to bring it in underneath my head, not underneath my shoulders. I want my shoulders to be able to roll around the bolster if it's available for my body. I'm going to take my legs. I like to put blocks in my hands, and then I let my feet come together and I let my legs go as far as they can, just naturally without having anything under them. I lift them up an inch or 2, and then I bring that set up underneath them, right? So I block them up just a little bit from what would be their maximum stretch. And again, that is to invite the central nervous system to feel safe so that you can actually release the muscles. If, like me, you're feeling like it would be beneficial to have a little bit of warmth on you or just the comfort. For me, it's not even, do I need the warmth? No, not necessarily. I love cuddling and I love blankets, right? Not in the middle of summer, but and so take that blanket and cover yourself up to the best of your ability. Once you're feeling like you're pretty set up, you're going to go ahead and close your eyes. There's nothing you need to see. I'm going to set a timer just for the sake of me not having to continue to look at my watch over and over. So we have an 8-minute timer. And I also want to introduce that to you because this is how I do it at home. If I know that I only have a limited time or whatever, there's an app called Insight Timer. You can be one of the paying members, but you can also get it for free. And then you get chimes, right? That can go with however many minutes you want. So lying on the back, I know I've got a timer that's going to tell me when my 8 minutes are up. I don't have to worry about that. My mind can let go of that. Start with feeling the bolster underneath your spine. If it becomes uncomfortable at any point in time, of course, you can always switch. Otherwise, try to find stillness for the most part now. And feel the bolster, feel how the spine is supported. Hopefully letting the body know it's safe to let go of all of the muscles alongside the spinal column. But also, we really want those muscles on the front of the chest and shoulders to soften. And you'll hopefully feel how, for most of us, that's going to allow the shoulders to soften down around the bolster, and you get a chest opening. And then I just ended up taking out the bolster that was under my head, the blanket. It was a little too high for me. So again, feel free to play with that, or maybe just come down a level. But otherwise, feel the bolster under your head. And again, letting the body know the head is safe here. The muscles of the neck do not need to hold on. So soften the muscles of the neck. Bring your awareness to your outer legs where those blocks are. Same idea, letting your beautiful, beautiful body know that the legs are safe. They're not going to drop too far in. You're not going to tear the inner groin muscles, anything like that. So the body can hopefully let go of the muscles. Think of it being all around by your genitals, your perineum, right? Even moving out what we often just generally call the inner groin. Try to soften anything on the inside line of the legs. Even let it, think of it, right? Moving all the way down towards the knees. And bring your awareness to just in front of your earlobe on the face where your big old masseter, one of the strongest muscles in the body, literally. And some people, they say it's the strongest, if not probably the second strongest muscle in your body. So if, like me, you're a jaw clencher, you can imagine that's incredibly tight and taut. Soften the masseter. Feel your bottom teeth soften away from your top teeth. And you do not have to, but be willing to let your lips part if that helps you find the softness. Let the tongue soften from the tip of the tongue all the way to the back of the mouth, down into where your tongue connects into the throat. Bring your awareness into your belly, ensuring that the belly muscles are very soft. The entirety of the abdomen, right? Let that be so soft that you feel that belly floating up on the inhale towards the ceiling, I could say, and back down towards the spine on the exhale. You don't have to control that breath. You can just let that naturally occur. Bring your awareness now to the base of the nostrils and feel the breath there. And unless you're in an incredibly hot environment, you might notice how the air is cooler when it comes in through the nostrils and warmer when it exits out. And I know this is not the path of the breath, but we're going to visualize that every time we inhale, the breath comes up through the nostrils, into and through the nostrils, up to that space between your eyebrows, the third eye center, or Ajna chakra, as we call it in yoga. And every time you exhale, follow that prana, right, back out from between the eyebrows, all the way down through the nostrils and out the nose. So I'll say that one more time. Every time you inhale, follow that prana, that vital life force energy from the nostrils, the base of the nostrils up through the nostrils to the third eye. And as you exhale, reverse that, follow it back down and out. And again, you don't have to control the breath. You can let the breath take its natural rhythm. And the next time that you inhale, and you bring your awareness up between the eyebrows, go ahead and leave your awareness there. So keep breathing. You'll still exhale and then continue breathing, right? But you keep your awareness at that space between the eyebrows. With your eyes closed, you might even just slightly gaze up towards that area with your eyeballs. So we just had our 8-minute bell. I invite you to stay here if you're able to. If you do have a time commitment, we're going to bring our hands to the outside of our legs, and we're going to help push our legs up towards the center, and then just pause there for a moment. Now, I like to move the block on whatever side I'm going to roll to the fetal position on, just so I'm not dealing with it as I move. And gently let your knees and your body kind of move over to the fetal position on one side of the bolster. You'll kind of plop off of the bolster gently. The top hand is going to push the floor away. Keep your eyes closed. Let your face turn down so you keep your neck super soft. And come on up to an upright posture. You could sit on that bolster that's right there. We won't be here long. And just notice what you notice. So the idea is giving ourselves short little breaks where we get a deep rest, right? And that can be very rejuvenative. And actually in studies, it is shown that when we allow ourselves to do that more often than not, we actually end up being more productive and we have way less stress, right? So may that be true for you, for all of us. Namaste.